We begin this bulletin with Tech24. I'm joined now by France 24 tech journalist Charlotte Lam, here with us in studio. Thank you very much for being here with us, Charlotte. And within hours of announcing that the US government would phase out the use of AI tools from Anthropic, President Trump authorized major airstrikes on Iran in operations that military analysts say were heavily supported by AI systems. Can you talk to us a little bit about the role artificial intelligence actually is playing in modern warfare, particularly now?
Well, it was just late Friday night that we heard from President Trump saying he would direct every federal agency to immediately stop using technology from Anthropic, one of the first AI companies to have its systems approved for its classified US defense environments. And then just hours later, that is when the US and Israel launched a massive attack on Iran overnight. And the Wall Street Journal is reporting that these commands around the world, including the US Central Command in the Middle East, use Anthropic's AI tool, Claude. Now, given the short time frame between Trump's administration's announcement and these strikes, analysts say it is possible that Claude still played a role, even amid this ongoing spat between the White House and this AI developer.
So why is it that these strikes are coming just as the Trump administration moves to cut ties with Anthropic? Quite extraordinary.
Well, because this decision is directly related to military access, and I'll have more on that later. But for context, this is really a dispute that has been building for months. Just days ago, we saw from Anthropic's CEO in India. He was at the AI summit there, and he was warning of an AI tsunami, saying the world was truly not ready for how rapidly society would be changing, how dominating AI truly would be in society. Let's take a quick listen from him.
Side of risks, I'm concerned about the autonomous behavior of AI models, their potential for misuse by individuals and governments, and their potential for economic displacement.
And Charlotte,
this was at a time, that there was a lot of back and forth, private and public conversations with the White House and the company. They were demanding that the company, Anthropic, that they should be allowed to use its AI to be used across military applications, including final military targeting decisions without human intervention. But Anthropic has really resisted this pressure from Washington over concerns of exactly just how it will be using its tools. So then we saw, just hours before these strikes hit Iran, that President Trump lashed out on his social media, Truth Social, effectively banning the technology from Anthropic. He was saying that the United States of America, quote, will never allow a radical left woke company to dictate how its great military fights and how it wins wars.
So Charlotte, what are Anthropic's key concerns so far?
Well, last month, tensions really heightened when the Wall Street Journal once again revealed that Claude potentially was used during the US's military operation in Caracas to overthrow Venezuela's leadership. Now, we have to remember that at least 83 people were killed in this operation, and Anthropic's terms of use prohibit the use of Claude for violent ends, for the development of weapons, or for conducting surveillance. So the US Defense Department did not comment on the claims, and a spokesperson for Anthropic declined to comment, but said any use of the AI tool was required to comply with its usage policies. So now that Anthropic has refused Washington's unfettered access that it is demanding, the US Defense Secretary is calling the company a supply chain risk. And this is effectively ending its, threatening to end its $200 million contract. It could also prohibit other defense contractors from working with this company. And so now really we have a looming legal battle, and it could have huge implications for how this power balance in big tech now.
And right after this spat, OpenAI struck a deal to supply AI to classified military networks. What does that tell us about why control over AI has become such a strategic priority?
Well, it really just highlights how strategically important these technologies have become. So for governments now, access to the most advanced AI models is really a matter of national security. But unlike traditional defense technology, this technology, AI, these systems, they're being built by private companies with their own rules and safety policies. And this raises like a whole new question: who ultimately controls AI once it becomes part of a national defense? And now hundreds of employees from major AI companies, including Google, DeepMind, and OpenAI, AI, they've all signed an open letter now. They're supporting Anthropic's position on this, that they're pushing back against the White House. The letter is titled, "We Will Not Be Divided," and it calls on AI companies to stand together in resisting pressure to allow their systems to be used in mass surveillance or the autonomous killing without human oversight. They argue that AI companies have a responsibility, not just to these shareholders or customers, but to society more broadly. And what's interesting here is that this isn't coming from activists or outsiders, it's actually coming from those inside in the industry itself. And we know that for a long time now that many researchers have long warned about the risks of powerful AI systems without having these appropriate safeguards. But those concerns are now colliding with geopolitics and national security.
Very interesting analysis. Thank you very much, Charlotte Lam, France 24's tech reporter, for us there.